I used to think that having dark underarms was honestly normal. I thought it was something that just came with my skin color, and I thought that it was something that I pretty much just had to deal with and work with. And once I realized that my dark underarms is something that I actually don't have to deal with, I was like, let me see what I can do about this. I'm not trying to sell you on anything, I'm just trying to lighten your underarms. That's all I'm trying to do. What did I do to combat this darkening of the underarms? What did my cow do? Okay. If your underarms look anything like this, that means that you have hyperpigmentation underneath your arms. And I used to think that that was something that was normal. I realized having dark underarms was something that my skin color actually was working with. It's not something that my underarms wanted to do, but it was something that it was actually battling. And I really had to do some research as to why my underarms look like this. And the reason why my underarms honestly look like that, it's due to friction. And hopefully that can give you also an answer as to why your underarms are darker than the rest of your body. And it's because our skin is literally rubbing up against itself. And that friction essentially makes your skin freak out, and now your skin is a lot darker because that's just how skin works. When it heals in certain ways that it makes it darker. So essentially, if you're having dark skin, it's probably because of that friction. It's probably just because of that friction underneath your arms. Okay, way too many chemicals. You're using a deodorant that doesn't agree with your skin. That can darken your underarms. So you want to make sure that you're not having a lot of friction with your clothing, let alone when you're showering. Also, you want to make sure that you are lotioning your skin as well. Having dry skin also irritates the skin, which thus makes your underarms darker. Lotioning your skin every single day is something that I realized. I was like, wait a second. Yes, I'm having my deodorant, but before I applied my deodorant, I was like, I'm actually gonna apply some lotion. Like, you know how like you raise up your underarms and you see that clumping of deodorant and it's just dry and overused, and you're like, oh my God, I need to reapply or I need to wash myself, to be honest. That is also another reason as to why your underarms are probably dark. It's all that build up, all that build up. So let's get into some solutions, right? Like, let's talk about it, girl. Like, okay, I stopped shaving frequently, and I did switch to waxing. I still do shave on occasion just to like get those little sparse hairs, but shaving creates friction, and as we talked about earlier, friction creates hyperpigmentation and all that jazz. So I stopped shaving as frequently. If you're shaving every single day, or let alone once every few days, I honestly would strongly caution, especially underneath your underarms, because that can be a big reason as to why your underarms are darkening and not lightening. And you're like wondering, wait a second, why is my underarms getting darker? I'm not doing anything. I'm literally not doing anything wrong. And you honestly aren't. Nothing is wrong with shaving. Nothing is wrong with waxing. Nothing is wrong with laser hair removal. But it's all about how your skin is and about how your skin is reacting to these certain things. So if you do notice your underarms are darker, you really need to look at, okay, am I shaving too frequently? That's something that you have to look into. Let alone, am I waxing too frequently? You also want to be cautious with that. So, however, I stopped shaving and frequently, and I really did see a big difference with the irritation underneath my underarms. I stopped getting like that extreme redness, that those red bumps that you get. I honestly rarely see any of that on my skin because I don't shave as much. So, I think that if you are using anything underneath your underarms that hasn't worked within the 6 to 8 week time frame, stop using it. It's not working. You should see results within your skin from 6 to 8 weeks. Okay, if you're not seeing any transformation, let alone kind of like a small, at least a little bit of a small transformation, you need to stop. Let alone using lemon juice and baking soda underneath your arms. That's too harsh. It's way too rough for your skin. And honestly, I really recommend just stop doing everything that you're doing and just go based off of what I'm about to tell you from here on out. I have this Lumi acidified body wash. This is pH optimized for face, body, and private areas. I love to use this, especially under my underarms. And the reason being is because it has an exfoliating agent in there. Now, as I mentioned prior, you do want to be careful with exfoliating agents, actives, anything like that, AHAs, BHAs, anything that says exfoliation on the bottle, you want to be careful. Let alone, what did I say before? Lemon juice is acidic. And what does this say on there? Acidified. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. But acidified body wash, okay? The problem at hand isn't the per se acid combination. It's the strength of these things that we are applying on our body. So that's why I recommend, versus trying to use something harsh like lemon juice and baking soda, use this body wash underneath your underarms because you're going to get a light exfoliation versus something super harsh. Let alone, you're also going to be cleansing your underarms. And I do feel like because it has those light exfoliating properties, over time, you are going to have that lightening underneath your arms. Next up, I mentioned lotioning your body. You want to make sure you moisturize, hydrate those underarms, honey. I genuinely didn't realize that lotioning my underarms was a really big factor into eliminating that hyperpigmentation. And this is actually currently one that I love. This is by Naturium. This is the BioLipid Restoring Body Lotion. And this actually has shea butter, fatty acids, and vitamins that penetrate the skin to replenish that moisture and hydration. Now, what is better than combating dark pigment than something that's going to actually bring in those vitamins? When you have like that darkening of the skin, it's because it's more so your skin reacting. So this is more restorative. It's restoring that skin. So this is why I love this product in particular, because after I go with my light exfoliation, I'm actually restoring my skin back with the moisture and hydration, let alone the fatty lipids and vitamins. So I'm not trying to sell you on anything. I'm just trying to lighten your underarms. That's all I'm trying to do. Okay, so I know that we also talked about deodorant as well. All right, that's gonna be a whole nother conversation because, baby, we don't like to stink. Like, honestly, like, we're not about to play with that. We're not about to play with the funkiness, okay? So, genuinely, I honestly do alternate a bit of my deodorants. However, I don't want to sit up here and just tell you like what deodorant you should or should not be using, and then you sit up there and blame me for your funkiness at work. So, or if you're just out and about, like, baby, it's the summertime. Strongly just recommend just detoxifying your armpits. Depending on what deodorant you use, I'm unsure. However, detoxifying your armpits is something that I feel like really was beneficial as far as getting that bacteria and that buildup in your armpit. As we stated before, buildup can also darken your armpits. So when you're not detoxifying your armpit and you're not using a good cleanser that is truly penetrating your skin and getting that nastiness out, it's just building up, which is why your armpits are dark. Okay, so I actually use a clay mask that really helps with getting rid of that funkiness. Thus, you don't have to like keep reapplying the deodorant. And I did also make some shorts about the clay mask that I use underneath my arms. So if you guys want to see the shorts for that, go ahead and check that out. I'm going to list it somewhere in the video, somewhere down below in the description, something like that. Something so you guys can go ahead and click it and just check it out. It's optional. The other two things I really recommend, but this is something that is just good for the underarms, kind of use once and you're done. Like, no, you can literally use this mask for years upon years, and you can still have it. So I recommend getting this one. It's pretty much everything. If you're suffering from dark underarms, I feel you, girl. We right here together, okay? Like, for real. Like, I just did my underarms today, baby. Yeah, like, we right here. So don't worry. We in this together. It's gonna take time. Like I said, 6 to 8 weeks. 6 to 8 weeks. Don't give it too long before trying something else out. Be patient with yourself. Be patient with you, seriously, with your underarms, because it's going to take some time. I'm not going to lie, it's going to take some time to lighten, naturally, at least, the underarms. So, yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is Clear Skin Fetish. Literally, thank you. And I will talk to you guys some more. Drop a comment down below. Let me know how you're feeling. Have a good day. Suki says have a good day. There you go. Got her to look at the camera.